walls came down when your love shone through. Now my life will never be the same. You love me too much to let me stay this way. Jesus, there's freedom in your name.
All right, welcome to UCAN Studios. I am your host, and I'm here with Sam. Sam, say good morning.
Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Sam. Before we get to him, if this is your first time at UCAN Studios and you are checking us out, and you know someone that is struggling with drug rehabilitation, alcohol rehabilitation, have them go to UCANMichigan.com, click on struggling, and we have someone that can get to you or information to you within 30 minutes. You just punch in your information. If you know anyone who's just struggling in life, needs help with clothes or baby clothing or food or spiritual affairs, have them go to spiritualwarfareunit.com, click on struggling. We got over 20 different groups that'll help people with a phone call away, whether it's food or clothes or schools or outreach or parenting classes, all kinds of stuff on there, no cost, low cost. Please check it out. Help us, help others, help you. All right, Sam, how are we doing this morning?
Good, Isaac. How are you?
I am great. So what is your official title for Emmanuel?
The official title is Worship and Creative Arts Director.
All right.
It's a mouthful.
You're creative and artful?
A little bit. A little bit. In my head, at least, I am. Very creative. I see things.
The colors match the notes. Okay.
Right.
I am so pretty.
Yeah.
Very good. All right.
So basically, that means I just wear like 10 different hats.
Yeah, and every time I get a hold of you, you're like, I don't have time.
Right. Well, our only time together is Sunday morning for like 5 minutes.
We get like 3 minutes, so I got to give you a little Ric Flair.
There we go.
Every week.
I love that, though. That's so encouraging to me.
Oh, it's good. It just brings
you.
a smile. It's all good. Yeah. All right, so you started off wanting to do this?
No, I didn't actually know that worship ministry was an actual job.
Oh,
really.
yeah?
I just thought it was a volunteer thing growing up.
So how'd you get into it? Because you're pretty decent, man.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I feel like God has gifted me in that just in the past 10 years, maybe.
Yeah.
So like I grew up in a Lutheran church, which was very traditional and stuff like that. Got involved with the kids.
Yeah, with the things and the chords.
Yep,
and
the robes and stuff. And
very good.
I was an acolyte. I got to light the candles eventually.
Sounds very impressive.
Yeah, very high church and stuff like that. But I was always involved in like kids choir and stuff like that. Had interest in music from a very early age. So, yeah,
very good.
It's God, not God.
God,
not God. We're not singing to God.
When you park a car at the bar,
right?
God,
but it was all hymnals and stuff like that, and learning to read.
So it's just
music.
the old stuff.
Yeah, the old traditional.
All right, so you like bass, tenor, treble?
I was a tenor up until like my sophomore year in high school. And my freshman year in high school, I auditioned for the musical, and I couldn't sing the song low enough. So I was singing it up an octave, and the choir director's like, "You're singing in my men's group. You're first tenor." So
you've always been musical?
That lasted for a year, and then I went through puberty, and my voice got gone. So I'm more of a baritone right now, but I can stretch into like second tenor.
So, and you've been musical your whole life?
Been musical my whole life. I picked up the acoustic guitar. My dad gave me his acoustic guitar in college, my freshman year, and I was just playing around with friends and stuff, just self-taught.
So you just pick up a guitar and go, I know how to do this.
Well, I saw how my friends did it, and you got to learn the
chords and
the chords and stuff like that. And I never got into like the scales and all that stuff, but just teach me the 5 or 6 different chord shapes, and I'm good to go. So just years and years of just playing that. I got involved in the church worship band at college. Yeah. Just auditioned for voice.
Well, like your freshman year?
I think it was my sophomore year. I don't think
And you said you went where? Grand Valley?
Grand Valley State, yeah.
How'd you like that?
I loved it.
Yeah?
I loved it. I was in the music building all the time. I was in the church building all the time. So I was in my classes part of the time.
So what was your, because that's what we're there for.
Right.
What was your major?
So I went for multiple reasons. One, I was going to be a marine biologist, but then learned that I was going to spend a lot of my time on a boat writing papers, and I didn't like either of those.
That was the marine part.
Yeah.
And the other part was the biologist
part.
Well,
basically, I wanted to work at SeaWorld.
Boats and paper.
So in high school, I just wanted to work at SeaWorld and with the dolphins and stuff like that.
Dolphins?
And that was the way to go. But But I didn't end up doing that. Got part of the way into that and changed my major to history.
How long was that? Like before you changed?
Oh, just like 6 months into it. So the second semester I changed to history. Yep. I wanted to be a history teacher because like all my friends hated their history teachers in high school. Like they were just boring and stuff like that. So I'm going to be the guy that, makes history interesting for kids. Yeah.
Hold on a minute. So your reason for doing this is your friends didn't like your history teachers?
Basically, yeah.
That's the reason?
Basically.
You're like, I'm going to set my career off fact. My friends didn't like it. Okay.
Yeah.
That just was interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
But I got 2 years into that, and I was like, this is kind of boring.
I understand why.
It's more like paper writing and research and stuff like that. And it was then that I realized, hey, I need to find something that I don't have to write papers and do a lot of research for. So
by now you got your like basics out of the way.
So basics were basically out of the way. Yeah. At end of my sophomore year, I ended up going to Mexico on a mission trip with our on-campus church.
All right.
And just like kind of changed my life.
What happened
down there? We went down to Tijuana, and the 2 years of Spanish that I had taken in middle school, and high school, two years in high school, really kind of kicked in, and I felt God saying, you connect with the people here, and especially with kids, and stuff like that. So when we got back from that, I changed my major to Spanish. And,
no kidding.
Yeah.
Because you connected with the people and you love connecting.
Yeah.
So it was connecting that you liked.
Yeah, basically.
Well, see. So,
but the thing about being a Spanish student in America is like you have to practice it.
Yeah.
And it's so easy when everybody around you speaks English. You just default back to English, and so I was not a good studier. Okay. B, C student, I wasn't really a student, but I was spending all my time in the music building and in the church building and stuff like that.
Just as like a side hustle. Just the thing that you did.
Kind of.
Yeah, but I got to go do this.
Yeah, I was networking,
Yeah.
But I was involved in the choir in college. I actually started a cappella group called After School Special with 12 guys. It was a lot of fun.
All right, so hold on. Let me get back to something. Kind of skipped over it. So you said change your life.
Yeah.
So how did it change your life? Like obviously you said you connected with them, but then how did it change your life? Like did it change the core directory?
It just
direction.
It made me focus more on people than on a career idea.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So less of you and more others.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of that thing.
All right, so you did that. So then, what happens next? You're how old at this time?
So this is like my junior year in college is when I switched to Spanish.
Yeah.
Started studying that with education emphasis, and did 2 years of that, and was not, I was progressing, but I wasn't passionate about it.
Yeah.
Like I got to go on multiple missions trips. I went to Ecuador. I went to Dominican Republic. And I got really sick in the Dominican Republic.
What does that mean? Got really sick?
I ate some lettuce that was washed in the water and got giardia, which is
I don't even know what that means.
It's an intestinal parasite that basically eats your innards, and you're on the toilet a lot. I got dehydrated.
Was it like a permanent thing?
It's had some lingering effects, but I was in a Dominican hospital for 2 days.
Because I know, like, you eat special food, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What is that?
So now, just in the past 5 years, I've had to go like on a gluten-free diet.
Gluten-free?
Yeah, a dairy-free diet.
I don't like it at all. I got to be honest.
I know. There's so many more options there are today than there were back then. But
like, what did you have to do when you had to do it and there weren't any options?
Oh, there in Dominican, I could eat anything.
Oh.
I wasn't allergic back then.
Oh. Well, when you first had to eat gluten-free, like what was there to eat? Like rice cakes and...
Oh, yeah. Rice cakes, rice, really, really dry, bad gluten-free bread. Like
I would hate food. I'd be like, you guys all stink. I would be...
And you know what was the catalyst that made me realize that is my wife told me, hey, every time you eat pizza, the next day you're sick. And she's had, her dad's had gluten sensitivity and all that. He's celiac.
But now they got like gluten-free pizza. Right?
Now they got gluten-free pizza, which is not real pizza. But
compared to like rice cakes and rice, like what you have now.
It's like steak. Yeah.
What was that place we went to and you had because that sandwich you had me try was actually pretty good. That coffee joint there in Davison.
Dougie's.
Yeah.
He was so good. He closed actually.
Oh.
Yeah. He moved down to Florida and but
sad face.
Yeah, very sad face. There's a lot of gluten-free options around now though.
Oh, no, that's great. There's another place down there that makes these great sandwiches with Au sauce, like Bear or something another.
Oh, Bear Soup Deli?
No, dude.
Oh, okay. I haven't been there yet.
Listen, you can eat their food and hear yourself getting fatter while you're eating it. It's delicious, man. Awesome. All right, so anyways, you're in your 20s.
Yep.
And the thing I find interesting is you're going to college, but that's kind of your side hustle. What you're focusing on, you kept doing these mission trips you like.
Yeah, I was doing the mission trip. I was doing the praise band at church and stuff like that.
So you're 20-something, you're doing 22, 20. You're like, meh. And so what happens?
Well, then I actually met my wife at college.
Okay.
Aubrey. And that was the best thing that happened at college to me. I met my wife there. Right. I actually didn't end up graduating.
Okay, so
I got my MR degree.
Nice.
But basically, I think I was in.
What that means, MR.
MR, Mister. Met my wife. But
there's one of these.
Hey, you got the sound for it.
Shooter. All right, so you get your MR degree. Thank you.
Yep. And so I'm like in my 6th year of college, and the student loans start coming in.
Yeah,
so
yeah. So you're 24ish.
23, I think.
Okay.
Because I got married at 24.
Yeah, it's hammer time.
Yeah. So I had to start paying off the bills and stuff, and so I had to get a job. Got a job at Marshall Fields in the men's department and stuff like that, and had to actually quit school so that I can work full time and start paying for stuff.
Yep.
And then around that time, we did get married in 2005, and it was a beautiful wedding. And her parents are from Davison. I grew up in Clarkston, which is just south of here.
Yeah.
But we got married in Davison, and then moved back to Grand Rapids because she had to finish up college.
Yeah.
At Grand Valley.
What was her degree in?
She got a psychology degree.
Oh, it wasn't an MRS?
No, she actually studied and did good in school and stuff like that. Yeah, and she wanted to pick me apart.
Wow, and married, boy, there's a squirrel nest in there.
She married.
We should have videoed the stuff at the beginning. All right, so
we got married, moved back to Grand Rapids. We're in Grand Rapids for a few years, had our first son.
What are you doing there?
Grand Rapids, I was still working at Marshall Fields. Actually quit there and went to work at a plasma donation center.
Okay.
I was a phlebotomist.
So you were a bloodsucker?
I was a bloodsucker. Got trained how to stick people with needles.
I knew it. All right, so you did that.
Did that. And then about a year into that, actually when Ethan was born in 2009, he was about 6 months old, and my brother reached out to me. And my dad, they co-owned a business here in Flint called Logo Fit.
Logo Fit.
And they had done screen printing and embroidery for years and years. And then they started this new technology. What's it called? It's basically like using RF technology to put a patch on a garment.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's sonic welding. Is what they call it. So they had this position open up in their shipping department, and they invited me to come work for them. I was like, no, our friends are in Grand Rapids. Our life is in Grand Rapids. We just had our kid. And my brother sat me down. He's like, dude, free babysitting.
Right.
You got job security.
Family, job security.
Being close to family and stuff like that.
Cool.
So,
all right. Well, this is a good place to take a break.
All right.
So you're moving from Grand Rapids back to Flint.
Yep.
And if this is your first time, like, share, and subscribe. Help us get the word out to help others. Sit tight. We'll be right back. Taking a quick break from our podcast, I wanted to let you know about our life application program that we have for churches and nonprofits in the area that are trying to find programming that they can use in case the corona shuts you down and you're not able to get in. You go to spiritualwarfareunit.com. Click on our episodes, and you can check out our programs for as little as $29.99 a month to make sure that we're still getting the word out to those people that need it. Now, back to the program. All right, welcome back to the show. I'm here with Sam. He's from Emmanuel Church in Davison, Flint.
Grand Blanc, all of that.
Yeah, there's a bunch
Genesee County.
Yeah. So he's the lead singer for the worship and art, creative, decorative,
worship and creative arts director.
Online. Man, dude,
All
that's
that.
a really long title.
It is.
Do you have like a plaque? No. What's your name?
Here's the dictionary. Just read it.
Yeah, you go up the door and there's like 3 platters on there. That's beautiful. All right, so your dad and your brother got this business, and they say security, take care of the family, yada yada yada.
Yep.
Wife says,
Wife says our life's in Grand Rapids. Like we're.
How'd you sell it?
So just the babysitting, the free babysitting kind of idea.
Yeah.
And her parents had started a church in the Davison area and stuff like that. So we got plugged in there right away.
Okay.
So we did end up moving back.
Okay.
Actually had to move in with her parents. That was
that sounds
fun.
A
joy with an 8-month-old and everything and no privacy, and it was just life was good.
Just wonderful.
It was super
precious.
Super.
Loving it.
So good. Thanks for bringing that back up.
For 200, Alex. What you gotta do, what you gotta do.
But you look back and God had a plan through it,
Yeah. So how long were you there?
So we were with her parents probably 9 months, I think. She got a job working at Baker College.
Okay.
As a student advisor, and then I was working for my brother still. We were going to her parents' church.
Life's good.
Life's good. I auditioned for the praise band at their church and stuff. Started playing guitar and singing at the same time more, and that was rough. Just learning how to do that as a volunteer. And we were there. We moved from her parents' house to an apartment. We were in an apartment for a couple of years. Had to. While we're trying to build up our credit so that we could buy a house.
Yeah.
That's an interesting story. I had to move back in with her parents after a while. But finally we got our credit up to where it needed to be to start looking for a house. We were looking.
Well, and you had that support to do it. That's another thing.
Right,
you know
right.
what I mean? 'Cause a lot of people don't have that
Not
support.
paying for childcare and stuff like that.
Hey, sure, you can move in and some help. A lot of people don't have that.
Right. We both have jobs and stuff. So we're looking around in Davison. Our price point's like way low. Like we're just looking for
What
bare
year
bones.
is this?
This is 2010.
So it's right after the dump.
Yeah,
Okay.
basically. And we're looking in Davison, can't find anything in our price range. We're like lowballing offers left and right and stuff. And our realtor's like, well, I've got this couple in Grand Blanc. They're looking to sell. We're like, we don't want to go to Grand Blanc. We've had like 3 offers declined or not even, whatever. So we're like, okay, last ditch effort. Let's go check it out and stuff. Previous to this, like just so our listener knows, my wife's favorite Bible verse is Jeremiah 29:11.
Okay.
For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, not to harm you.
Yeah.
So I go to this house and check it out. It's got good bones. It's in Grand Blanc, and I go into the bathroom, and there on the medicine cabinet mirror was a card that had Jeremiah 29:11. I'm just like,
right.
I'm like, Aubrey, come in here.
Right.
And she looks at it. We look at each other. We're like, okay, we got to put an offer in here.
Yeah.
And they accepted it.
Wow.
And so we got to move to Grand Blanc.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
And
so you still at her parents' church doing the?
still at her parents' church.
How long did you do that?
As a volunteer. We were there probably 8 years, I think.
Wow.
8 years? Yeah, till 2018. So about 2016, I'm serving on the worship team there as a volunteer, and the pastor's preaching a message, and then he had us kind of break off on our own and write down, what God's speaking to us and stuff like that on a card. And I just got this feeling like God's calling me to worship ministry, like as a career. So I wrote that on the card there and just tucked it away in my Bible. Didn't really think a whole lot of it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have any education with it. I played music growing up and stuff.
It's your side hustle.
Self-taught. Yeah. But just to know that this was a possibility for, making an income, you don't think about that.
Right.
So that was like 2016, I think. And then 2017, our pastor and his wife moved away, and his wife was the worship leader.
Okay.
And so I thought, maybe I'll just step into her role. But they weren't offering it as a full-time anymore. So I kind of took that as a sign that wasn't the place.
It wasn't the joint.
I said I'd stay in the interim and stuff like that, but that I was going to put my resume out there.
Yeah, and how long were you interning or whatever?
So that was like March of 2017.
Okay.
And then
you had your resume out?
I was putting my resume out there.
Dear resume. Actually, Dear diary, God said I was supposed to do this.
So get this. Because we moved to Grand Blanc, I had to get I had a bad back, so I had to find a chiropractor. Found a chiropractor in Grand Blanc who was a deacon at Emmanuel.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just through relationship with him, I had given him my resume. He gave it to the pastor.
No way.
Pastor reached out to me. I didn't get it because it went to my spam folder.
Are you for real?
Yeah. So he texted me in October of 2017 and it's like, hey, did you hear from my pastor? I said, no.
Yeah.
He said, well, he reached out to you. So I go check my spam folder. John had emailed me 3 weeks prior.
No,
and I didn't respond to him.
That's, man, I better check my spam folder.
Right? Check your spam folder.
Right.
So I went right away. I emailed him back. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I lost your email. And
first impression.
Right, exactly. But he agreed to meet with me in November at a Tim Hortons, and he sat down with me and he said, Emmanuel doesn't have the funds to bring you on full time, but I see this as a potential full time position.
Right.
And he had never seen me play live or anything like that, but he took a chance on me. And that was November 2017, and then in December we made the decision to make the switch. So January 2018, I started part time at Emmanuel. Still full time working for my brother.
Yeah. So your wife's full time, you're full time and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Because doing a person that does ministry, like that is an all consuming thing.
Yeah.
And then you're doing the work. Like, how did that like the transition between, this, that, and there had to be a little bit of tension in like that decision.
There's tension, but like, God just gave me a great wife that she was so supportive. Like,
that's great. Good for you. You got a
icing
great
on the
wife,
cake.
it's wonderful.
Right.
Wow, it's all rainbows and butterflies.
Yeah.
Let's get to the concrete. So,
So I was working full time.
We're working full time,
Yep.
and then how long before the offer happened? Because we're talking pretty close to 2020-ish, right?
Yeah. So 2018, 2019, I was doing both.
Yep.
And stuff. And then 2020, they were able to hire me full time.
Okay, when?
In January.
Oh my gosh! And it drops in March.
And then it dropped in March.
This is now we're in the concrete and barbed wire.
There we go.
All right, so
2020, I get hired full time. Yeah, let's go.
Dream fulfilled.
Right.
And then COVID
and
the world
COVID
stops.
in March. Like we had spent so much time planning Easter.
Dude, your wife had to be like, oh my God.
But I was an essential worker.
Yeah.
So I was still able to go in.
I remember because you guys were doing it with no people.
We had to learn how to live stream. I mean, thank God for our volunteers that had, the wherewithal. But like
what were you thinking when that happened? I mean, you'd be like, no way.
I was just like, all of us were dumbstruck. Like, well, what do we do with our week? We're gonna record videos and we're gonna, do stuff to engage our congregation while we're away and stuff like that. But thankfully, like I didn't get COVID for that first year. Like a lot of our band members were able to come and we just learned how to live stream.
So how hard was that to be doing that with nobody? I gotta imagine there's no energy in the room.
Singing to a room
there's
got
no one
two
there.
people there.
And they're like, woo!
Right.
All you hear is...
Right. I mean, just looking into a camera, I mean, it's a dead piece of glass, right? And but I just had to imagine the people on the other end.
Wow.
I mean, it was definitely weird.
And that was for a minute. Like that was for some months, right?
That was for 3 months, yeah. March, April, May, and then June we started in person again. But that was hit or miss.
So you started with the music. How did you get the creative
So
Director,
in order
yada, yada.
in order to make it full time, that's
Ministry
when they
of Magic title.
That's when they added the extra hats and stuff like that.
So how did that happen? You said I can do that, or
I had some experience. I had, used some template-based graphics design things, and I kind of have an eye for it, but not career.
like you can make it happen?
Yeah,
but
I'm ADHD enough so that I can like tweak some stuff and put it together and make it look decent.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, they added that, and then the live streaming. And
Hold on,
yeah.
too fast. So they added that. How long after you were hired?
That was right when I was hired. They basically put music and graphics and website and all that.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it can be a lot.
It's a super lot.
Yeah.
And I find
music by itself, I've got
is a lot.
30 volunteers.
And you got two locations.
Not at that time. Not in 2020.
Oh, right. Yeah, no. It gets harder later.
You're getting ahead of me.
So what happened was all right, so you're doing the creative thing. So first thing out, do you love it? Do you hate it? Are you excited? Like, did you get your 6 months and you're like, No, I was loving it. I was loving like being able to put all my focus on it. Yeah.
Instead of working 40 hours doing something that wasn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
And now I'm
just doing stuff you like.
Yeah.
See, that's why I love working with these guys. I just like getting you guys' stories in here, and I'm like, I love all of this. I just hang out with the coolest people.
Yeah.
And you guys do amazing
when you're in where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
not hard. It's not work.
It's hard.
But it's not work. No, you're like, it's difficult, but you're having fun doing the difficulty.
Yeah.
I don't know how to make that make sense, but it definitely makes sense.
Right.
It's
I always put it like a piece of the puzzle, right?
Yeah.
You're trying to find it, and then it fits and it clicks. Yeah.
Yeah, like when I was doing, I started off with jail ministry, and I love jail ministry, and I was like, I love jail ministry, but I was wrong. I love ministry.
Okay.
And it was like, God used that to light a fire, and then I was like, I want you to turn. And I was like, but,
right.
And it's like, okay, I'll turn. And then when you turn, you're like, oh, this is really awesome. And this comes super easy.
Yeah.
When we started doing the veteran stuff, I'm like, this is so easy. And they're like, Isaac, what are you talking about? Aren't you busy? I'm like, well, yeah, that was the point.
Yeah.
We're doing stuff or junk.
Right.
And we're just, it's a dumpster fire running down the road and we're catching it. That's great. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. And it's just, and I get to meet the most amazing people in my team, Dave and Adam and AJ, and just amazing. Like, and each person controls their own thing, and they're all brilliant at those things. I have no desire to do those things, and they deserve the credit.
Yeah.
And I love all of that stuff. Dude.
So can I tell you a crazy story?
We got 1 minute.
1 minute? I can't do it. I can't do that in 1 minute.
Oh, man. We'll have to have you come back for the next one before you get it in there. So if you wanted to, like, punch this out, you got, like, 30 seconds. What's the thing you want someone to know about your story?
My story is God is over your whole story, even if you don't realize it. Like, you can look back and see the crap that you went through and where you are now. God had his hand in it.
Right.
God had his hand in the people, in the places, in the junk that you went through, in your marriage, the junk that you went through in school, not having direction or whatever like that. He can make a way through it all.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for coming out, Sam. We ran out of time.
That flew by, man.
It was awesome.
Oh, you're awesome.
You guys sit tight. Please like and subscribe. Help us help people. We will see you next time. Do you have a nonprofit in your area that's doing a lot of work that people should know about? Feel free to contact Spiritual Warfare Unit at 810-715-9319, and we would love to have them on to see what good they're doing in the community and find out their story. Thank you so much.
Too much and let me stay this way.